Hey everybody, it's Breaking Red. Nobody's watching, so it's fine.
You can act as flamboyant as you want.
What's up, everybody?
Hey,
Wearing my Bucky's.
Yeah, I could. Hey, that shirt brings me pain, Macho. Of better days.
Still smells like Texas.
You're welcome. That stench doesn't go away either. It just stays. It stays with you.
Yeah.
yeah.
If anybody's watching later, we don't have anything planned other than maybe the most important thing we could be doing with our time. That is talking about the comic book that we're producing together.
Yes, sir.
The Drift.
I actually, to interrupt, I do have something planned for tonight.
All the time.
This is why I was so distracted before we hopped on. I have a little. No one's watching anyway, so we could just jump into it. I have a little segment called.
I really think we all need to learn how to be nicer to each other.
Friendship.
Love it.
It's called Be Kind, and this is a little segment I like to throw in here when we have Mutt with us because it's all of us. And you know, we spend all week on Discord ranting about people, complaining about things, being negative human beings. Then we go on Twitter and it's more negativity. So Breaking Rad is a light in the YouTube darkness.
That's true.
And
Yes.
there's no better way than to show our lightiness than with a little segment called Be Kind, where we will look at the people that bring us the most negative emotions.
Yeah.
And we will force ourselves to say something kind about them.
It's difficult, but it's important.
It's difficult. Cal's very bad at it. I'm hoping he puts on his Christian shoes today and turn that hat, make that a white hat today. You know? There you go.
Yeah.
So look, I'll look like always. I'm going to take one for the team. I will do the first one to get us all in the Be Kind mood. Spread the love of Jesus tonight. All right.
Yeah. Amen.
All right.
Two people. I'm doing two people.
Wow.
Dude, wow. Okay.
Just to show you guys, I mean, business about the love of Christ tonight.
Okay.
Two people that I find reprehensible. So here we go. I'll kick it off. These are my two. The devil and his bride. T.D. Jakes and Oprah. We didn't start yet. I can call him that. So I'll kick things off.
Wow.
I'm not even going to say why I find them detestable. I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it and say a kind thing about Oprah Winfrey and T.D. Jakes. To Oprah, for a wretched 90-year-old woman, you look not a day over 50. I'm not going to lie. She looks all right.
That's because she bathes in the blood of children.
Stop that. This is Be Nice. Be nice. We're Be Nice tonight.
Be kind.
And
you have to be nice to her.
Oh, that's right. No. This is the Be Nice segment. And Reverend T.D. Jakes. We're gonna get some dead air on this one for a minute, but you have a great. I'll say this: you have a great voice from the pulpit, a great pulpit voice, and
preacher voice.
I only wish you used it for Jesus once in a while. But, great pulpit voice. So those are my two. So, wow, I'm feeling more positive already. I feel like this is gonna be a good night now.
Good.
That was tough. I could tell.
Is this like you getting the bad mojo out, and so we have our good, positive, creative juices?
We get it out of the way now.
Okay.
Cal, you better come back on camera because you're next, big boy.
I'm back.
Oh.
He's eating, of course.
Oh, is he eating? Well, this will be
always.
Look, I'm going easy on Cal this week. I feel like he'll have an easier time with this one than he did with the last one. So, Cal, here is yours.
Anita Sarkeesian. Wow.
Say something kind.
Wow.
You just
The
blurred it.
sky is beautiful tonight.
Just blurt it out.
Anita
without thinking.
Sarkeesian. Say it. Be nice.
Do you think she's beautiful?
Look at
That's
can
lovely,
you guys see
Cal.
that?
That's nice.
Come on.
It's beautiful.
Get on with
Oh,
it.
she's not though.
Stop that. This is be kind. Be kind. Just one positive thing. Force it out. Let's go.
Her eyebrows are very symmetrical.
Anita Sarkeesian, your lips appear as though they are a human pair of lips.
I would not say that counts.
Your
No, that does not
hair,
count.
That doesn't count.
your hair, it goes from the top of your head all the way down past your shoulders.
Still doesn't count.
Say something
It's
nice
just
about her hair or her
you're just
lips or her
Giving
face.
us facts.
Or
It's a
something she's done
compliment.
for the industry.
You
Give her
have to give a
Cal.
compliment.
Okay,
He's
here we
always
go.
the worst one.
Anita Sarkeesian, your contribution to video games, it really showed us who our enemies are in the video game industry.
I'll take that.
I'll take it. I'll take
That's
it.
pretty good.
All right.
Point for Cal.
I mean, that's a compliment.
Macho, I realized last week I gave you one you weren't expecting, and so I'm going to go ahead and give you the one that I think you were expecting
I know.
last
I
week.
know.
And,
I know.
Too easy.
It's too easy, but I feel like Macho was yet to say something nice about this person. So there you go, buddy.
Oh
Good
God.
boy.
Oh
Look him in that
Say-
weird tooth and say something nice about him.
God, man.
Say his name first, and then say what you think about him.
He's looking at you right now saying, "Say my name, Macho."
Say my name.
Say his name, Macho.
He's writing your name right now in that weird.
I'd like you to say, Mr. What's his name?
Mr. Eric Larson.
There you go. Addressing him as a gentleman. That's good.
You're he look. I mean, like, hold on.
Come on.
Before
You
I
can
say,
tell him how much you like Savage Dragon.
Yeah. Especially
your,
the
all right,
later.
your run on Spider-Man.
You can always compliment his beautiful.
This is really
bald
difficult.
features. This is hard for Macho.
Your run on Spider-Man.
I realized I let him off easy last time.
Yeah, I mean, well, I thought it was going to be this 100%, because I used to do the Eric.
Stop
Larson.
stalling and say something nice about Eric Larson.
Say it.
Eric
Say
Larson.
something nice about him.
The kind of guy who.
No, don't do your kind of guy thing.
Not that.
Do a nice thing.
Your Eric Larson, your teeth, your smile would make me believe you're a more genuine person than you are.
Look at that. See that?
That is not. That is
does
not.
not.
A
Oh,
compliment.
the judges are saying no, Macho.
No.
All right.
That can't compliment.
You
Doesn't
called him
count.
conniving just then.
We let Cal off the hook pretty easily. I just like to say, but we'd be here all
I
night.
know,
so.
right?
Macho. Compliment the man.
Come on.
All right, fine. You have drawn some good art.
There you go.
Man.
You know, kind of a coward's way out, but fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
acceptable.
I like. All right,
You guys are not very good at this game. I'm just gonna
I
say.
like-
Because they're mean
Spider-Man.
people.
Mutt found a way to compliment Hitler last time. I feel like you should be able to say something nice about Eric Larson.
I like some of Eric Larson's art, and I'll not say anything else.
Man.
Well, we know who
Passable,
the loser is
but-
tonight. It's
Yeah,
passable,
passable,
at
but
best.
not great.
What the heck? I mean, I like some of his art.
That's fine. You know what, Macho? Let me just show you how a pro does it. All right?
Mhm.
Wait. I got one thing I'll say.
Okay.
When Savage Dragon, the first issue came out, I genuinely enjoyed it.
Wow.
All right.
That when the
There you
first
go.
issue came out in the 90s, I genuinely enjoyed it.
Macho likes Savage Dragon comics. All right, next. We're going to show you how a pro does it, Macho.
Yeah.
Here you go, Mutt. Please say something nice about who is this again?
This is the leader of the cult that
Say his
killed
name.
some people.
Say his name.
But
You have to address the person you're complimenting.
I think if we say his name, we might get a strike.
Just say it. No one's watching. YouTube's not even watching.
But doesn't know it.
Give
All
give
right.
a
He
initial.
doesn't even have the
Manson.
slash. What is it?
Manson.
Charlie M.
Manson.
No.
I mean, if I
You
think
can
if
call,
I could say,
you can call him Mr. Manson if
all
that
right,
makes you feel better.
Mr. Manson, sure did know how to party.
He wasn't an awful songwriter.
See that? See, Macho,
Yeah.
these guys managed to
Yeah.
find a way to compliment the two of them. Cal came out of nowhere with
Hey,
What?
he wrote a
With the
Beatles
layup on
hit.
this.
He wrote a Beatles hit. Manson did.
Mhm.
So good job on the Beatles hit. Helter Skelter.
Bad
There you
job.
go.
Bad job on the human hit.
Oh,
Bad job on leading people into devilish murder suicides.
Yeah, let's get him off the screen. I'm always
Man,
glad
that's-
Mutt cranks them out quick because I hate keeping these
He
guys
does.
on
He-
stream. for
Boy, that's rough. That was a hard one right there.
I would just
man.
like to point out Mutt
Gets
managed
himself.
to throw out like 3 different compliments on Charles
Really did.
Manson tonight, and
Yeah.
Macho over here couldn't say one nice thing about Eric Larson other than he kind
Right.
of like Savage Dragon 20 years ago.
Like, we know Larson doesn't probably vote the same way that you do, but is he that bad where you can't even give him 2 or 3?
I just
I bet Mr. Manson would have voted with you.
get him out of here.
I think Larson's misunderstood. I think that's the problem.
Oh my gosh.
I think he's perfectly
Eric,
understood.
I think Eric Larson's the kind of guy who would drink Mr. Manson's Kool-Aid.
Oh, I think he would too.
Ooh,
If Joe Biden told him to, he would.
If Joe Biden told him to, he would.
Where's your little drinking, my buddy? Charlie Mansions.
Charlie Manson
Go Chucky Mansion.
and Dark Sign Log Face Sony Phone Soldier.
I was in the pool. You can't rub up on my leg. Calls him corn pop.
That's who corn. That's the real corn pop.
That's the real corn pop. He's old.
Now we know.
Mr. Manson. Me and Charlie
Everybody
used to party back in it. I called him corn pop. Come rub up on my leg. Well, there you go. Anyway, you guys can take the wheels again. It's fine. Take the reins again.
That was good. I like that one.
There you go. So that was oh, you know what? We gotta close out with it too.
I really think we all need to learn how to be nicer to each other.
Friendship.
There you go.
I like to say that I'm definitely the friendliest of the 4. I think I've been given the hardest tasks the last 2 times, and
No, definitely
Yep.
not.
It concerns me how good you actually were at complimenting those two. Like
Yeah.
you had those compliments ready. Like these are just things you say to yourself.
what did I say about Hitler? I said he was a sharp dresser.
Sharp dresser. Not just Hitler. You complimented all the Nazis with that one. That was.
Well,
I was like, say something nice about Hitler, and you said, "Man, those Nazis turn you out."
well, first of all, for the algorithm, Nazis bad. Nazis are bad. Nazis bad, but they didn't know how to dress. I mean, they had cool color combinations.
It canceled it out because you were doing the white supremacy sign while you said it.
Oh, I
So,
did. Sorry.
And
Sorry.
you're bathed in ominous red.
That is.
I know. Yeah, you are.
I'm doing my Liam impersonation. Bring them to me.
Bring him before me.
Bring them to
Bring
me.
him before me now.
Bring me Ethan and John.
Bring me the head of Van Skyver.
I can't believe that cartoon hasn't been made by like Camel Moon or something. That's too easy.
He might have. I haven't caught up with the Camel Moon.
Yeah,
Camel Moon
maybe he
cartoons in
did.
a while.
I'd like to see it.
Could have a marathon. All right. You can take the reins again here, Macho. Set us up.
Oh, I mean,
Set us up, big boy.
I feel like I'm probably the wrong person for this.
All right,
but
Cal, you want to set us up?
Cal can set us up.
Mhm.
Cal's stuffing a burrito
All right,
in his
all
face
right,
right
all right,
now.
I'll
Come on,
set us
man.
I'll set us up. So, a number of years ago, during the Coco, we all we were looking for we were streaming regularly, and I think Marvel came out with a team, and it was
New Warriors.
New Warriors. No, what was it?
New Warriors.
New Warriors. And it was so bad that we decided to, in one streaming episode, create a super team that was better than what Marvel came out with.
Right.
And so we did. It only took us one stream to come up with the idea, the theory behind our comic called The Drifters.
Right.
And it ended up being so good that we've continued to work on it. And to this day, we're still producing art and story and ideas for the comic. And tonight is going to be a brainstorming work session that if you are interested in the creation process, there's 4 of us, which is typically more than a lot of books that are out there. But we're going to work together on this and see if we can get a little bit further on this book we call The Drifters.
Yeah. Cal with his full belly right now.
How's that?
He's full and satisfied, rubbing the tummy, picking the teeth.
Oh yeah, chili cheese.
Man just had a tasty Tex-Mex meal tonight.
Chili cheese burrito.
Cal does not. He doesn't have a lot of like, mouth noises, juice noises when he's eating. He's really good at just eating and not making a lot of food noises.
That's good to hear. I wondered about that.
Yeah,
he does do a lot of picking of the teeth when he's done eating, though. That is.
Yeah, but you can't hear it, so it doesn't like. There's the gross factor is not there like it is with so many others. Like you should see Macho. Oh my gosh, eating with him is like it's like eating with the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It's like eating with the Greek god. I've watched Macho eat Tex-Mex.
I ate a rib that was about this big with Mark. Like it was incredible.
Macho and I bonded in a way that you two never bonded. But
that's not true. That's not true, and I refuse to listen to stuff like that. It makes me mad.
we Lady and Tramp those ribs. It was beautiful. Beautiful.
But did you see Macho eat ice cream when you were with him? If you haven't seen that, you don't know him.
It's true. You probably didn't see that.
You should have ate ice cream. The next time, if you ever get a chance, eat ice cream with Macho Dan the Dandy Savage, and you will see something that you will not believe.
I have a special.
You're not one of those people that bites the ice cream, are you?
Yeah. I mean, I'll bite ice cream,
top and bottom. He'll bite it top and bottom, and he will gulp it down like it's lukewarm pudding.
I have a special skill, and I don't get brain freeze.
That's so specific.
He doesn't get brain freeze.
Wow,
you're
lucky.
Whole cone of ice cream and just go and just eat the whole thing. It's crazy.
I have a problem with ice cream. I can eat ice. I could eat like a Blizzard thing. I mean, it seriously takes me maybe a couple minutes tops.
That's unbelievable.
Like
You should watch the way he eats ribs. He literally puts the whole rib in his mouth and it comes out clean.
I learned that from Fred Flintstone.
It's a thing. If he didn't even get his hands dirty, it was.
It was like brontosaurus ribs that we were eating. They're enormous.
Wow. Yeah, those were good.
He's amazing. My Dan, he's amazing.
No, my Dan's pretty awesome too. I don't know who your Dan is, but mine's right here.
That's right. You boys fight over me.
All right, I'll take Cal then.
I'll take it.
Have him. You could have him.
Hey, I want to show you guys something. I was messing around with some AI art,
and
I was trying to.
We're definitely enemy of the state. I
was trying to make it give me a giant mecha cabbage. It gave me. Look what I typed in: giant mecha cabbage, and it just gave me regular cabbage.
Pictures of cabbage.
It's regular pictures of cabbage.
What is your obsession with AI cabbage?
I don't know. It just happened that one night, and it was magic, and I just kept the theme going.
He's something.
That was one of the greatest AI prompts I've ever seen. Is old people eating cabbage because they all looked distraught.
They look miserable. Very miserable eating the cabbage. But old people love cabbage. That's why it's funny. They love it.
Is that a thing? Do old people like cabbage?
Old people love cabbage, man.
Well, good. I'm not old yet. No, I do kind of like cabbage. Crap.
I
love it though. I would never eat just a head of cabbage. It's not a
fighting cabbage.
No, don't start, Macho. We'll never stop.
I might do these throughout the night. See if I come up with any good ones.
We're just stalling till Cal is done cleaning his teeth out, so we can get going on.
I'm done.
You good?
I think
he's got the beef con carne out. Yeah.
All right, we'll come back to
the expecting him to like grab it and like look at it and flick it once he gets it out, but it never happens. He just gets it out. Amazing.
He's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman. He's a gentleman.
And a scholar. I'm both.
Ooh. He's also a little conceited too. Well,
No, I'm
Macho,
humble.
let's you let me know when that's ready.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll bring up some choice.
Do we want to? Does somebody want to pull up a picture of the drifters and we'll get going?
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll just kick it off. Ain't no one watching anyway. It's all good. Oh, there it is. It's ready now. He's not really fighting it. He's kind of embracing it.
I mean, like this guy. Hold on, let's see. This one, he's kind of. It looks like
teabagging it.
He's kind of like
He already beat.
He has cabbage under his little loincloth there, which is kind of disturbing. Oh wait, hold on.
Just one cabbage nut hanging out.
That guy's just. That could be like a rap cover, like a rap album cover.
All right, no more.
He looks like he's loving the
drifters. Cabbage. Come on. We're gonna lose our 1-4.
That guy looks like cabbage.
This is Macho stalling because he didn't read up on any of the drifter stuff. I bet.
I did.
Don't act like you were diligent, Mike. I popped in here and you were already in here and you were.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I read it all.
I read it and contributed last night. Art and feedback.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Right, but I can
contribute. Scholar Cal.
I contributed.
Now Dan's my best friend and Cal's my best friend. Who have you got, buddy? But you're welcome to be mine if you'd like.
I want to praise the drifters very quickly. This is a super team that we, like you said, we created just to be better than the new Warriors. We created it as a joke, though. Like we're like, hey, let's get on stream and in one stream create a better super team than Marvel Comics.
Yes.
And it was a joke. I mean, they're homeless. One of them is named Buffalo Phil. One is a midget. One is a speedster who wheezes. I mean, this is clearly a joke team, and they're still better.
No better
than the new Warriors, which, by the way, Marvel didn't end up publishing because even Marvel thought they sucked.
I think it was a.
That's bad when even Marvel wouldn't publish it. You think it was?
I think it was a troll originally. And then they kind of almost dared themselves to do it. They were gonna do it, and then they didn't do it.
Safe Space and Snowflake.
Yeah, I think they were kind of like, yeah, let's really do it for a minute, and then they're like, well, we better not actually do it because
internet gas. Yeah,
I wanted to see the internet gas in action. I was curious how you create internet gas. That was a good one.
I want to know because I want to make some.
That helped contribute to Antigen X's origins because instead of internet gas,
it did.
I think a different kind of gas that got us banned from YouTube for a night.
Yeah, right. So, what do we start tonight?
Oh man, this is your idea.
Why don't you talk about? Why don't we talk about? Let me do kind of a rundown, okay?
Yeah, there you go.
Mosquito, I killed it.
And then you can kind of jump in with Gator Roy because that's kind of the last thing that has come up. And then if you could kind of be ready to have Gator Roy to show, like some of your pages or some of your artwork.
Sure.
I've actually saved some of it so I could do that too. Okay, so the drifters, as Macho was saying, was kind of a joke at first, but then we kind of fell in love with the characters because as we were coming up with them, we found that we actually had a pretty good penchant for connecting with their personalities. Leading the team is a lady, an old lady. Her name is Jenny. Jenny is
a friend of mine.
She's an interdimensional being who is from heaven, and she is an angelic warrior who is kind of living in a human skin right now, and she looks like an elderly woman. She finds homeless people that have special gifts, and she establishes them as a part of her super team, which is intended to be a super team that isn't really noticed by society because they're all bums and drifters and homeless people. And that's where we came up with the name the Drifters. So as part of the Drifters, the first two that we meet in our story is a character named Bindlestaff. And Bindlestaff is a wizard from a long past time who had a spell put on him by his enemy wizard. The enemy wizard was cursed to be a dog and to have to be by his side for his entire existence, which is the dog named Finbar. So they're an odd couple. They don't really like each other, but they're kind of stuck with each other. Finbar is by his side at all times, and
There we go.
and Bindlestaff is, he's an old wizard who looks like a bum. He's kind of stuck in the 21st century without really wanting to be. We have another character named Antigen X, which I have some images of.
You got a better image, yeah.
Freshies.
I got a freshie right here. Let me share. Present. Share
He has
screen.
come a long way, design wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's definitely gone through many changes along the way.
This is Antigen X, and he is of kind of our Logan character. He's rather mysterious. There are some features about him, though, that are right up front. As you can see, he's not necessarily human, shaped like a human, but inside he is kind of a walking human germ. And his ability is to take sickness or wounds from one person and transplant them to another. So he has these weird tentacles that come out of his hands. They attach themselves to the victim, and he can remove or place their wounds or sicknesses. So that is Antigen X. Next, let's see if I can open this one up. Let's see. Sorry, give me just a sec. I got it right here.
Okashuko Papashango.
Hey,
Welcome.
what's up, my man? Yeah, I do too.
I
I do as well.
Cal, I'm just going to grab yours since it's the newest one.
One of the few people who know the true name of
The true
Antigen X.
origin. A great name, might I just say.
Okay.
You still got Antigen X up there, though.
Got it. Sharing. Cal just dropped this bad boy on us.
Yeah.
This is Short Fuse. New design for Short Fuse by our good friend 6 AM Comics.
Great
This is
design.
Cal's rendition. He is sort of a grumpy, short midget who has basically Forge-like ability, if you know Forge from the X-Men, to build things out of nothing. He's like the MacGyver of the group. He's kind of a genius, mechanical genius. His origin is kind of a sad origin. He wound up on the streets, but he was recognized by Jenny as being a mechanical savant. And he's a part of the team because he can basically build things that are necessary for them to win their battles. The next one that we have is, gosh, I'm not really organized on images, so I'm just going to go through it and just talk about them, okay?
All right.
Yeah.
The next one we have is the Speedster. His name is Weezer, and Weezer is an ex-junkie who huffed the wrong gases, and he became fast, kind of like the Flash, if the Flash could only run short distances without getting winded. So he has this little kind of device that he huffs, and it's got some kind of a chemical in it. I think, is that the chemical that makes him run fast, or is that just like his inhaler?
I believe it's the one that makes him run fast.
Oh, is it? We just literally said that.
I think it's both. I think he kind of needs it to breathe normal and run fast.
Yeah,
He's addicted to it.
Yeah, so he's someone that kind of runs on his he kind of runs away from his problems, and so he's our speedster. He can do short distances. He can't do he's not like the Flash where he's sort of immortal with his speed, but he can do short distance runs and be very effective in the short
Basically,
span.
he moves very quickly, but his it still affects him as though he's running those actual distances. So if you were to run a mile super fast, he reacts to it as though he just ran a mile. And
yeah.
All right. Next we have Buffalo Phil. Buffalo Phil was basically a person who was on a a tour of an Asian temple, and he disrespected a specific urn that was connected to a curse. He disrespected it because he was hungover, and he decided to take a leak, American style, into the ancient urn.
What is American style?
Where you're in a distant special place and you just don't care. You treat it like your urinal. And so then he was cursed to become a part of this kabuki mask. So he is now a floating spirit who is only capable of using dead bodies or unconscious bodies. So that's his curse, but he does have an effective power that he can use to help the team. Saizan, she's sort of the new member of the team, and that's where our first story is kind of revolving around. She is an alien species, but I think she's an alien from the inside of the Earth.
Yeah, Cal, do you want to explain that one a little better? I think you have a good.
Yeah. So she's kind of I mean, technically she's a fae folk or a fairy folk. She's from the inner kingdom of the Earth called Agartha. There's a lot of mythology around Agartha being a place on the inner Earth. So her and her sister, Saizan. Oh, there we go. Here's a Chris Graves. Her name is Saizan, and then her sister is Margot, and those both have French origin. And there's also like some French connections with Bayfolk and Agartha, as I was doing research. So it kind of all makes sense. But anyway, so she's an alien of a different kind, and when her specific kind of Fey folk comes from the inner Earth, where they don't have seasons, up to the outer Earth, wherever they come into our realm, they latch onto that season cycle, and so she's now, North American seasons affect her form and her powers. Does that make that good?
That's great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And
beautiful.
Her power cycles, as we have them so far. I'll start with winter, because this is kind of a good place to start the cycle. In the winter, she becomes very emaciated. Throughout the winter, she becomes more and more skeleton-y, and her powers are absorption, like heat or energy and life force absorption, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. That feels right. And it's as she comes to the last day of winter. By the way, I kind of want to spitball this thing tonight, because Mark, your comment about it, her just becoming an ash very quickly. I feel like maybe we can revisit that, but at some point, she becomes just a skull and a pile of ash, or maybe bones or something. But and then they crumble. All that energy she's been absorbing throughout the winter kind of gets released into the earth, and it kind of calls vegetation to her, and it comes up and kind of encases her skull. It becomes like a seed, and so from a seed dying in in our world, in the real world, a seed has to die before it can actually bring forth new life, and so that's what happens with her. She dies, and then from that seed with the skull, she grows this new body, which is like this swamp thing, man thing looking deal, and the next her is gestating inside there in this amber kind of a pod, and she is psychically controlling this like a vegetation mech suit, basically. So she's not unconscious. Her body in there is, but her consciousness is controlling this form throughout the summer. Fall. Winter, spring. Throughout the spring, she's as she grows, her power is growing and kind of leading towards summer, when she becomes heat based, and she kind of burns out of this shell, and it's really awesome. She becomes like a fairy. She's got the wings, and she's got like we're kind of steering away from fire, ice, but she's got like a heat kind of a power. She can fly. And then that's her throughout the summer. the fall, I don't think we've really settled on what her fall cycle is. So maybe we
That
can
was
talk
my
about
idea.
that.
Was that fall was just the process of her dying, and then winter she was just dead the whole time.
Oh, right, we did talk about that, and she becomes kind of a.
So she was basically useless in the winter because she was just incubating or whatever you
Right.
would.
I was listening to you guys, or I was reading you guys talking about that, and I was just thinking that rather than it being sort of like a instead of the cycle being so drastic for each thing, you know, where there's big steps down in her degradation, I thought it'd be more interesting maybe just to have the beginning of the season, the rebirth, be like sort of her most powerful, and then she just kind of decomposes to that point. So there's like a couple of days before she's a pile of ash in the skull. She still has mobility, all right. She still has like some form, even though it looks like black trash, you know, almost like walking soot pile or something like that. So like she still has sort of like a little bit of strength left, but then at that last day of winter, she's actually crumbled down to nothing.
Right.
It was
That
Mutt's
sounds good.
rendition of her.
Oh, I love that.
The colors.
That kind of just keeps us sort of like she's still there. She can still do some things. She just kind of loses power as she goes. But then once that revolution kicks in, where you know whatever it is, the sun comes around the earth or whatever the gravitational thing is, or you know she's from the center. If she's from the center of the earth, I'd like that because I think it makes sense that she could be affected by the rotation of the earth.
Hmm.
And so it's almost like a clock that's in her. No matter where she is on the planet, that her sort of biological existence has a clock to it, and it just kind of counts down until she dies, and then she's reborn again.
Yeah.
Well, there being a clock, that would imply that there's a point, maybe a peak. So she's starting here. She's just been born. She hits her peak here, and then dies in winter. So peak would be what? Summer.
Well, like I think the thing we were talking about was that her peak would be like sort of the moment that her rebirth happens. So she's reborn into this amazing, beautiful, fairy-like creature with powers, and she just gets weaker as the year goes on, and she starts.
So
to
what's this? So
decompose.
this state we're looking at here, because there's a point where she's encased in this big hulking monster that's protecting her.
Yeah.
So
like Cal's saying, like she psychically it's there, but her body is becoming new again.
So
it's still confusing, isn't it?
I'm just confused. So I imagine springtime. Let's just say the first day of spring. She's now emerged. Does this thing come out of the ground, or is this the winter form?
I think that's like fall right there.
It's well, this is spring. So she, the skull kind of. So in the script where we're at now, what they have is a skull because it's the first day of winter. They've got a skull, but it's very quickly encased in vegetation, roots, and vines and things, and then it starts kind of growing the body, and all that stuff forms into this hulking body for the spring. And then throughout the spring, like I said, she's kind of growing in there, and her heat powers are manifesting more and more and more. She burns her way out of this and becomes fairy. It might be good to in the fall. Then she loses her wings. She can't, she literally falls.
Yeah.
Like she can't, she can now no longer fly. I don't know what her power, I pitched, and I don't know, and I like this idea, but I'm going to pitch it again. I pitched the idea of in the fall, she's just normal. Like she doesn't, she's lost her fairy wings. She's just kind of human in the fall. And then, but then as she kind of creeps towards,
is that,
what's that?
So she's useless in the fall? Is that the idea?
Yeah, basically now, okay, I'm just gonna share my heart here. So just as a writer, for her, I feel for her that she's in constant flux. She's like, she's dying, and then she's like incubating, but controlling this giant, plant mech thing, and then she's this awesome fairy. She's on this high, but she has no time throughout the year to like just kind of chill. So I don't know. Like I kind of just character development wise, I like the idea of her having a season where she can just be normal, like a normal human. But that's not super exciting either for a superhero team. So that's me like liking her like as a person, even though she's not real, and wanting to give her like a season of normalcy each year. But like I said, we brainstorm this, and whatever we land on is fine with me.
Good cheer. Am I giving you guys a ton of like sound feedback right now? Are you hearing like a no? It's just on my end then.
What are you hearing?
It's like a.
It might be my computer.
No, it's definitely me because when I mute it,
hear
it
it.
goes away. But it's probably just me. That's all good. I just want to make sure I'm not bugging you guys with it.
No, you're fine.
No.
Cool. But yeah, sorry. What was the last thing he said there? I missed it because I was busy dealing with the feedback on this.
Well, I was just kind of pitching her like giving her as a character a season of just chill, like just her relaxing and being kind of normal human. But like I said,
so
you
she
know,
essentially have a teammate that's useless for 2 seasons then.
Right, and that's why I say it's not super exciting for the team, but
Yeah.
but it is well not a whole not a no. Here's the thing though, she's not useless for the winter. In the winter she actually absorbs. She can. I would say she's kind of roguish maybe in the winter. Like can't necessarily use powers, but she can kind of like.
Isn't she just a skull in the winter?
No. She's getting more emaciated throughout the winter, so she's kind of, you know, thinning down, and by the end of winter she's basically a skeleton. And I would say on the last day of winter, so she doesn't just become ash instantly, she kind of crumbles and it's just a skeleton there, laying in pieces. So in the
So
script,
last day of winter and then first day of spring she's this thing?
Yeah, well, the first day of spring, I would say it's kind of like Groot, you know. Maybe she starts out kind of small, um like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
It might be interesting to have the skull just have little vine legs. Yeah, I don't know. But
Yeah, I thought this was gonna be fall because it was like we were talking about, fall is like that's the season full of rot and decay. But I remember also having the thought that when she grew in that in the little womb inside the mech suit, it was spring. So I don't know.
Yeah,
where
my thinking is originally what the plan was. So every season, kind of, there's a certain element that we associate with seasons. So springtime is vegetation. So you have this hulkly looking thing. Summertime, fire. Winter, we went with dead. I think originally.
I think fall. I think fall should be when she's like literally like dying,
decaying, and then she's just dead through winter.
And then in the winter, well, in the winter, she doesn't need to be dead. I think she spring season is the full power mech suit, and then it's like she's losing it throughout the fall. Like, maybe she's depowered. She's like losing chunks of it.
Well, that thing should be gone by summer because she should be.
she burns out of it.
Summer. Yeah, burns out.
Summer,
okay,
she's
yeah,
like full blown super fairy.
Burns out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So something's resurfacing in my memory. I remember when no one liked the idea of her being normal in the fall. I think, Mark, that's kind of where you're thinking about her being dead in the winter. But I pitched her being a really good. She could be a really good character for like a horror team up with her and Buffalo Phil in the winter. Because if she in the fall, if she's becoming more emaciated and she dies at the end of fall, in the winter she could actually be like an undead, like.
Ooh,
Like
a
Draugr.
See, I like that.
Like a Draugr from
Does he
Skyrim,
get any kind of benefit to using her corpse in the winter though? Like, does she have any like lingering powers that he can utilize?
I would say it would be not necessarily something you'd associate with an undead, but it's still kind of the energy absorption thing where I don't want to make her too OP where she can just steal people's powers or their life force. Like, I don't want her draining people's life force, but something where she kind of like. Did you guys ever watch What We Do in the Shadows?
Oh yeah,
I didn't watch it, but
the energy vampire where just when he talks, it kind of just drains people's energy and they get sleepy.
Yeah,
it could be something like that.
I love the idea of like a horror team up where Buffalo Phil's walking around in the Cezanne suit.
He's like, I'm fabulous.
Oh, I wasn't pitching him like being in her body. That would be weird.
Well, I mean, she's a corpse though, so that's perfect for him because he can only inhabit something dead.
Well,
So
yeah,
if
but
she's dead,
then what's her consciousness doing then?
They're in there
she's like
together.
she's like maybe that's like the one time there are almost two people inhabiting the body or something, or like
Yeah, I'm not gonna shoot that down, but I was kind of thinking like a horror team up, like where it's like he's in his undead body, and she's
you have
kind of
two
in this
zombies walking
undead
around,
form. Yeah, there's like kind of like
zombie
it'd be
detectives.
fun to have like a town go through a like a mini zombie apocalypse, and they're the ones that have to go in and like take care of it because they're the ones who are immune to that.
Yeah, I'm cool with
Something
that.
like
She just
that.
needs to be useful somehow.
Yeah.
While she's in that form and not just some
Yeah.
useless rotting thing.
I would say her use is she number one, she's like invincible. You can't really kill her. If you chop her up into pieces, it doesn't matter. At the end of winter, she's gonna turn into this thing anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I do think that there should be some kind of she affects. I don't know if this is a power, but like let's say she walks through a greenhouse or a garden, and I just envision all the plants just dying as she walks through. There could be some really cool horror shots of her just like just like everything dying around her. But I would say she doesn't use it on humans because that's against the goodness of the team.
Does she
But-
control it?
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. If she doesn't control it, then that would be scary for the team because she could be like draining their life force.
Yeah.
Maybe she just goes off and does her own thing in the winter. I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking. You guys come with some ideas.
No, I mean, I mean, we have a golden opportunity where we have a character who essentially becomes a dead thing, and then we have a character who inhabits dead people. So if she's like unconscious during that time and dead, then Buffalo Phil can literally be walking around in her husk, and maybe there's some kind of lingering power that she has in there that she wouldn't be able to access because she's not conscious during that time period. So you actually get like a weird super version of Buffalo Bill walking around in the winter.
Right.
Super Phil.
Super Phil. I love Super Phil.
What Mutt and Macho? What do you guys think? What are you thinking right now? Give us some. Hit us.
I don't like. I like the character. I'm trying to figure out because we don't want to make it too convoluted either. Like we don't want it to be so convoluted that it's hard to follow. So we went with this idea of seasons, but I don't know.
Ew, old cow drawing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like what.
Yeah, this is cow drawing.
Which is the cow drawing? This right here?
This one is.
That's an old
cow?
That's an old cow.
And this is an old cow.
Old cow's better than new Mark. What is this nonsense?
Oh, stop it.
Screw you.
No, this is not good. This is not good.
It's too
The
good. I
idea
wouldn't
was
draw
good,
that.
but it's not.
I'd give up
Well,
after the leg.
we're looking at concepts. I think the art is good. What I think we need to do kind of is have one of us nail down the seasons of Saison, and it just should be one of us that loves the character. Just do it. Just figure it out because we've kind of gone round and round about it. So we just need someone to take the creative lead on it. Who do you think it should be?
I mean, look, I think Cal has definitely taking more leaps and bounds with her than the rest of us have.
Yeah,
I think when I came up, when I was like, she should have fire in the summer and ice in the winter. So I think Cal has definitely taken her to a different level. I'm happy taking on my boy. I'm going to say it, COVID Ops.
I do it.
I was going to say
all right.
But
right.
I think Cal should take the reins on Saison.
All right, Cal, you've got Saison. Your job is to basically make it work with the seasons thing.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll tell you just from feedback from everything that you guys have talked about. I like her being effective in some way or another. Like you were saying, like even when she's close to rot, like when she's in rot season, she's still kind of bulky and has effect, and she can't really be necessarily killed, right?
Right.
And I like rebirth season being incubated somehow. So that's just my sort of overall feedback, but you take it, and we're going to let you be sort of like the sole member that's going to take.
Yeah, I think fall winter is the struggle.
Yeah,
we got a good grasp of spring and,
All right,
and
I'll
summer.
work on it.
I like her being a fae. I like her being from the inner earth. I like Morgox being from the inner earth too. So Margox, take it, man. Take it.
All right, cool. I will take it.
All right. Who do you want to attack next?
We get a little COVID ops guy. Bring him up. Let me see him.
Yeah.
Hell.
That's good old days. Look at those buds,
I love
Cal.
that.
Cal loves those buds.
Don't like the
hates
buds,
those
but I do like
buds.
that drawing.
I think we need to look at Buffalo Phil because Mark did a big redesign.
Yeah.
Not necessarily redesign, but he had a lot of good feedback today. Last night, very early in the morning.
I love that drawing, dude. It's
The
so
weird
good.
of the night.
And I love the idea of like a lot of the things he said, making it simple, recognizable, and repeatable.
Yeah, the thought with him was he's a very simple concept. He's a what do you call him? A kabuki mask?
Yeah.
A kombucha mask.
Oni mask.
Oni mask.
He's an Oni mask that just possesses things. So there's not much to him. We talk a lot about what iconic design is, and I think it really boils down. I'm not saying this is iconic. I'm saying it should boil down to something simple that even a child can replicate. If he's trying to draw his favorite superhero team, you should be able to recognize what the kid's drawing. Like we know what Superman looks like. We know what a Wolverine looks like or a Batman looks like. So I think the design should be simple. And you look at a lot of Oni masks; they're very complicated and just very detailed. And so my thought was to go simpler, but also do something unique with it. Where like he's either like two-toned. Look at our boy there. And so that was I took a stab at him, but
Yeah, I love your designs, man. I love both of them.
I think the design is really solid, and I like. Is it supposed to be kind of like yin yang a little bit, like one half is, or is that just me reading into?
I mean, I noticed it when I was doing it, but it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool.
Nothing I do was that deep.
It adds a little bit of color. It adds some difference to it. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Repeatable. Whoever's drawing it, whether it's one of any of you or another artist, it can be repeated. So I think the character is pretty. Like honestly, I think it's really funny that we have for all intents and purposes, this character is a little bit younger.
He's like a frat boy.
He's a frat boy.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that he was a frat boy and he got too wasted one night before his big field trip, and then he peed in an ancient cursed urn, and then he's cursed for the rest of his life to inhabit this Oni mask, and the only thing he can do is inhabit dead things besides float around. He can communicate with his friends, and then he can inhabit dead or decaying objects, which is I think pretty. I think
fun exercise for an artist too, because they'll have to be able to show a lot of emotion just through eyes, because it's just a mask. It's not like it talks or moves. You really only have control over what his eyes are doing.
It could be like a Spider-Man sort of situation with how Spider-Man does his face and his eyes. I think it's cool.
Look at Mutt. He's grinning. He likes it.
I like it.
Mutt likes it. I think he's a great character. I think that's my favorite character. And that was the one. What didn't you come up with that, Mark? Did you come up with, when we were naming him? I think you came up with Buffalo.
I came up with the name, and you guys let me have it because I was so bitter about COVID ops. I could keep Buffalo Phil.
You're like trying to be a little bit like whatever about it, but Buffalo Phil, it's like he's a kid from Buffalo. He went on a field trip, and his name's Phil, and
it's a play on Buffalo Bill, who tries to wear the suits of other people.
Right.
Yeah.
He's literally doing what Buffalo Phil did, just with dead things.
Yeah, I think he's great.
Much sexy pinup pose for him here too.
The sexy one. We gotta talk about while we're on the subject of Buffalo Phil, we should talk about the moral problem that we face with our team. Do they kill? Especially the question is, do they kill for Phil?
Oh! Do you guys remember there early on? We did like that was part of the joke was that Bindle staff would
he was killing
kill
drifters and
killing
keeping them in his
drifters.
bindle sack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it was
well,
like
obviously
it
we
was like
steer
a
away
Doctor
from that.
Who TARDIS. Like you go into the bindle sack and it's just like another dimension. And there's just like floating bodies in there for Phil that he's cleaning up the streets.
Yeah. I don't like that idea anymore. I do like the idea that Phil can inhabit something that is a person that is already dead for whatever reason, or he can inhabit an unconscious person. But when they have their facilities and when their mind sort of turns back on, he has to be evacuated.
You're gonna have to really sell me on the unconscious thing because I'm still not into it.
You don't even with the evacuation thing. I thought that kind of solved it.
I don't know. Maybe if they're unconscious, I don't know.
Yeah.
It it seems to defeat that. Like if you're cursed to inhabit the rest of your life in the undead, it seems like a get out of jail free pass if he gets to just inhabit people that are sleeping and stuff and gets like real bodies that are alive.
Yeah, that's it though. It's not while they're sleeping, it's while they're blacked out. So they have to be almost like knocked out.
So we had that first scene where like Weezer like slaps the mask on the police
which was an awesome scene, but it doesn't work.
But it doesn't work. So if we decide that doesn't work, it's fine. We just need to figure out another way to do that scene. It's such a good scene.
Well, what if there's what if instead of a police officer it's a like an ambulance and there's a dead guy in the back,
I would say if you really want to go the route of it being an unconscious person, the scene works assuming Weezer slapped the mask onto the guy hard enough to knock him out and let Phil, whatever, take over the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems like that would be a lot to explain in a panel. It's just very simple. Like when you just say, this is Buffalo Phil, he can only possess dead people.
Yeah.
You have a simple premise.
Can he possess dead animals? Like could
dead
he possess
anything, I would say.
Oh, okay.
If you can get the mask on the animal, I guess the mask has to fit them, right?
It doesn't. I don't think it needs to be that. I think it would be funny if you it's a goat or something. There's a dead goat, and then
he's got the mask like on his butt.
He's got the mask. Like he's like, I can't believe I'm wearing a goat.
Yeah, or like what if it's roadkill? Like if it's a dead possum?
He's like What if we want to do something like Baby Groot at some point. What if he's what if at some point he's a raccoon or a possum because that's the only body he can get?
Roadkill.
It's like the end of Fallen when you think Denzel saved the day, but then the demon goes into like the cat. You ever seen? Spoilers if you haven't seen Fallen.
No, I'll never watch it now.
Oh, you should watch Fallen. It's been like 30 years. I should be allowed to talk about that movie now.
Yeah.
Every time I hear time
is
on my side, freaks me out.
What about we might have to massage that scene a little bit then, or like just change it. I think it's a really funny part of the scene, and I like how they get out of the jam because like they use what they got and they get out of the jam that way. But we can maybe think of something else too.
I'm with Cal in the sense that I like unconsciousness, but it has to be blackout. It can't be dreaming.
How do you define that to somebody though? That's.
Have you ever been knocked out?
You don't remember dreaming, but you might have.
Yeah,
been.
He wouldn't remember if he's been knocked out.
Well, when you're out, you're.
Macho was very quick to say that after being here for a while. He wouldn't remember being knocked out. I know he doesn't remember.
That's because when you were sleeping, he was just standing over in your bedroom. He was just looking at you, watching you.
I woke up and he ran out of the room screaming, "I'm Buffalo Phil." What did you do? Get out of here.
I would never do that.
That I don't know. I think that's hard to relate to. Like, unconscious, but really unconscious, not a little unconscious.
I get the gray.
Dead is simple. I like dead. It's very simple. It's they're dead.
Be deceased.
There's no soul, so his soul is able to hop in that body because there's not a soul there already.
That when you say it like that, it does sound cleaner and it works better.
Okay.
It does.
I just don't want to force in something just to make that part of an action sequence work. Because it works. That sequence is great, but I don't know if it's worth kind of sacrificing what the quality of that character is, where
the sequence
to only inhabit
we can
dead
fix
things.
that sequence somehow. We can fix it with something else or someone else.
The sequence in question goes like this: it's the Kabuki mask is being held by Weezer, if I remember correctly. He's running alongside a cop car, and
he's chasing the drifters.
That is
the
chasing
cop car is
the
going
drifters.
after the drifters, and Weezer's on one side of the car. Phil's on the other side, floating next to it, and Weezer grabs the mask and slaps it over the cop that's driving, forcing him to.
Sort of knocks him out punches him sort of and knocks him out, and then that's how Phil is able to take over.
Phil takes over the body, crashes the car.
What about this? What about this? So this will bring up our next character anyway. Short Fuse. Let's take a look at the new redesign of Short Fuse.
New redesign right here, baby. Look at that.
So what about this? What if he doesn't slap on Buffalo Phil? He slaps on something that was created by Short Fuse.
Yeah.
As like it could be the same scene, but it could be something that's like, it's a funny bunch of objects or something that he slaps on the cop's face, and he crashes the car because he can't see.
Well, Weezer doesn't have to slap him. I mean, he can literally
you could literally just say he
him.
slapped the Kabuki mask on the cop, and the cop just can't see him. Phil's probably like, "Why the heck are you doing this? I can't take over the body." But maybe it's enough to just blind the cop and make him crash the car.
I'm just trying to think of a cleaner way to do it.
But again, that's more stuff that you have to explain to the audience. I don't know.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But it could be a good way to explain Phil's power.
Yeah,
because he's like Weezer's kind of a goofball, right? And he still just doesn't really get Phil's power, so he just like slaps the cop, and the cop's like, "I can't see," and Phil's like, "What are you doing? I can't take over anybody unless they're dead."
His scabs up my butt.
I want to say something that's in bad taste, but
don't say that.
We'll get kicked off too. I'll message it to you guys. You go. You keep talking. You keep discussing.
Okay. Short Fuse is a mechanical genius, as we've said. There's a good backstory now, I think, that you guys have massaged out. Cal, you wrote that backstory, didn't
you? Short Fuse?
Yeah.
Well, there's something there was something in the script, but Mark and Dan came up with some really good stuff recently on the Discord.
Yeah, they did. Let me find that real quick while you guys are talking.
The thing in the script, I think I just wrote what we kind of all talked about. I maybe added some details, but
I wrote something in the chat that not in the chat, in the private chat for you guys. That's my take on it. But
that'll get us taken down. But yeah, that's funny.
Mutt likes it. I see him smiling. He likes the idea.
Hey, look, while you're doing that, I did something I want to show everybody. Hold on.
If you show us your poop.
I'm not showing you my poop.
You might have to do a redesign all by himself in MS Paint.
No, I did. No, I did not.
He redesigned Weezer?
No, I'm gonna. The only art I'm good at is AI art.
You stop this. We are not using
all right.
it.
So I did. No, this is Bindlestaff.
Is he sinking into the ground?
No, he's like sitting up against. I don't know what he's doing. So he's a homeless, confused wizard. See, he is kind of melting into the ground. And then this is my favorite. Hold on, Finbar, the wizard stuck in a dog.
That's so good. Look how good that looks.
A little wizard dog.
All right. Then I have Short Fuse. I don't know why it didn't
really make him.
I put it because I didn't.
This is literally just showing homeless people. This is
all right. I say
the wizard dog
is a woman inside an organic plant-based mech suit, and this is what it did. It put plants with a woman.
It put organic plants inside.
Yeah,
that weird suit.
That is weird.
Weezer. That's Weezer.
Look at that weird contraption. Looks like a baby bottle.
Yeah, it does. And then hold on. I'm not done yet. Let's see.
This is what Macho's been doing the whole time. He's
Yeah.
been
Not paying
Hold on.
attention.
doing his AI prompts.
Hold on. I'm gonna close this one. I gotta open up
Any
one
story
more.
suggestion you make is suspect now because I just think
I
you're
gotta
doing
open
AI prompts for everything you're coming up with.
one more. One more. Hold on. This one. Oh yeah, I did another short fuse one because this one's better.
Oh.
Can you please
Hold on.
enlarge it? There you go. Oh my gosh.
Look at him.
I love
He's beautiful.
That
He
is
doesn't
so
look
good.
grumpy though. He looks happy.
He does. He looks really proud of whatever he made.
You made like an R2D2.
He did. There's just a bunch of junk and like wine bottles and stuff down
He
here.
made the Android mascot.
He did, kind of, yeah.
I got the part that Mark wrote on this character. So he says he carries a garbage can around full of tools and equipment. Because when we first talked about him, we were talking about him kind of like Oscar the Grouch, and so that's where the trash can comes from, which I love.
Yeah.
He's got a colander on his head to shield from government frequencies. We can keep the short-tempered persona, but give him a little more depth. Think a lot of humor. Let's see. He's constantly suspicious of the halfway house caretaker, not believing her to be angelic or supernatural, rather thinking she's an alien or a Democrat lizard person.
I like that the most generous, like nice, like pure good soul in the house. He's like really suspicious of.
He thinks it's a Democrat.
He thinks it's a Democrat. I think that would be so funny if, like,
Yeah.
you know, she's like, I made you some cookies, and he's just like,
But how did you vote?
Your cookies, lizard person.
Yeah,
They're filled with the vaccine.
Yeah,
that's it.
it'd be so funny.
Yeah, well, the idea was we talked about just be an angry dwarf.
Yeah.
I always think of that Ben Folds 5 song. That's why I keep saying it. But
Yeah.
But you know, giving him a little more depth. You know, rather than being a failed businessman who's forced to live in a junkyard and he's grumpy all the time.
Yeah.
He can be somebody who was kind of that high-ranking, owned the junkyard, his dad's junkyard, had a lot of money, was very, you know, well off, but got so caught up in conspiracy theories and just thinking all kinds of crazy stuff that he intentionally went to the homeless life just to be off the grid.
Yeah.
And he's grumpy because he's suspicious of everything. So he's, you know,
Yeah,
he still lives up to the name Short Fuse. He's still, you know, easy to tick off, but just disgruntled and suspicious.
Yeah.
And a genius. He's almost too smart for his own good.
Yeah, I really like that. I think that's a great take. And it's something that Cal can write really well because he's.
I also love that he's using a plastic colander to block frequencies.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense. But that's not smart, though, is it? I mean, or maybe it is.
Yeah,
maybe
but
it's smarter than
he's
we
got.
can
He's got some logic behind it that makes
A
no
lot
sense.
of-
He never explains it, but
Yeah, a lot of really like genius people can't see past things like that. Like they know in their mind that it's helping them for X reason, even if it's really like in reality not helpful at all. Like that's just how some of those like savant style people are.
Yeah. I love it. I think it gives him just the right amount of characterization that sets him apart. You know, personality wise, and it makes him a very, very handy person to have around.
Yeah, absolutely.
So great
and
character
it's good. And this is a good
development.
way for Cal to inject his wacky theories into our stories too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's walking around like, oh, Nephilim on the moon.
Oh man. All right. Cal, did you want to talk about Jenny tonight?
Sure.
You're not allowed to draw tonight. You have to.
Yeah, you have to discuss.
You have to talk. You can't.
I wasn't drawing. I was coloring. I was shading.
That's
Yeah,
not what you
you're
think
not
it is. Yeah, you put that down. I always know Cal's in art mode because he stops talking.
Yeah. He
I'm
starts-
listening.
I don't want you. We don't need you to listen.
Jenny is an angel.
She is an angel.
Not in the metaphorical sense, in the actual sense. She's an angelic being who, and so in this world, I mean, a little background. We're kind of playing fast and loose with angelology. setting this in a Christian world, but we're kind of taking some liberties with the spirit realm. That stuff isn't super clear anyway. And so in this world, the angels kind of, I think their power, number one, is kind of, I mean, they're immortal and they're powerful, but a lot of what they can do is attached to their armor, which they can also make, if they become in human form, they can make their armor look like an apron
Cookies.
and a pearl necklace. And it's like a pair of glasses. By the way, you guys probably, when we get to Gator Roy, you probably didn't zoom in and see that I have his whole armor. When he's almost naked on the billboard, he's got everything. So we'll zoom in and show that later. But
Yeah, we'll get to Gator Roy in just a little bit.
I love that this design of Jenny is Sophia.
It's so great.
Golden Girls.
This is, I mean, you probably won't take this as a compliment, but this is one of the best things you've ever drawn. It's so good, man.
It is so good.
I love it. I love the caricature-ishness of it, where she's got this really big head. It's good, man. Anyway, so Jenny is an angel, but she is actually in her human form. She's been kind of anchored to her human form, and is now aging and will eventually die. Her human form will die, and then she'll become just a spirit, an angel in spirit form, and will not be able to become human again. And that comes from an encounter with a being called a Dark Walker. That was Mutt's idea. Good job on the name. And she used to be in a super team, much like the Drifters back in the day. And her team faced off against the Beak, and he was able to wound her in such a way that she is now kind of stuck in this mortal form. She's got powers and stuff, but she is aging, and so she's going to eventually, drift off this mortal coil and become an angel in spirit form only. But in the meantime, she's putting together a team that will be able to kind of replace her and her team when she's gone.
She's kind
Those
of
are the Drifters,
X, right?
She's what? Yeah.
Professor X of this team.
Yes, she is. Yeah, and I like that she's on the clock, because that sort of gives some motivation to her character to get this stuff done, and it will add some anxiety too.
Yeah,
like if she doesn't get the team established, then it could mean that parts of the earth could be overrun by evil characters like the Beak.
right.
Yeah, so the Beak then is he is the villain of the first book, and he's a Dark Walker. What did I call him? Dark Walker, is that right?
Yeah,
I like it.
And he basically has taken over a small community. It's a Native American community in Montana, and he's become the sheriff of this Native American community. So he's not really he wanted to do that because he could establish kind of a small kingdom in the United States without being bound to the United States laws, because he has kind of risen himself up through the ranks of power within the Native community. And by doing that, he's kind of built a little army of followers and henchmen and people that'll do his bidding. So he's trying to build power, and then that's Jenny sends the Drifters in to that area to defeat him and stop his growth. And he has found Saison. Is that right?
Yes, he definitely found that was part of the.
Yeah, I like that connection. So he's kind of found Saison and wants to utilize her power, and he's trying to figure out how to do that. But then she kind of disintegrates into death, and so the team comes in, and then she's going to rise again in her new form relatively soon. I think that'll add a nice element to the story.
Yes, and the team kind of knows already. The Beak doesn't know what's going on. The team, not the team, because they don't all know, but I think Bindle's staff has been kind of filled in on.
Yeah.
And they are discussing that her powers. No, actually, I think they've kind of figured out that her powers will kind of bring her to whatever season we decide on whenever she dies. that skull situation. So
I feel like maybe he should. What might be kind of cool is that he has the skull. Like, the skull is kind of like a seed, and he has it, and the team has to get the skull, and they don't know what they're stealing from the beak. All they know is that Jenny said get the skull, and they do, and then after they get the skull, that's when Cezanne's able to, like, in whatever amount of time we want to devote to it, like, grows out of, and then they, like, meet her.
Is she going to be a character in the first arc, or is she just a plot device?
No, she'll
I think
we still have like half a book. She'll become whatever we decide on, whether she's small when she starts or whether she kind of becomes this Hulk really quickly. I like the idea that she grows through the spring, and like by the end of spring, she's like 2 stories tall or something. I don't know, maybe not 2 stories, but I like this idea. So I definitely would make her a character in the first book, but not in the first half. Obviously, we're already half done. We are about halfway through the script. So
okay. So one thing we need to do is we need to connect this really cool character called Gator Roy.
Okay.
Which Cal's
probably the greatest thing that's ever come out of this entire
yeah, very funny. So Cal, why don't you break down Gator Roy, since you have a love affair with this character?
Okay, Gator Roy. I just sent all the pages to Discord, so I gotta can one of you guys like one of you guys download all those real quick, and then they're not in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not in order, but
Gator Roy.
Yeah, so Gator Roy is here's page 1. I freaking
love him so much.
Gator Roy is in Arizona. He's a Phoenix area dirt rat. He's a trailer park boy. He lives now. I took executive decision and I just named the Lake Serena Lago, but we can change it if we want. But I had to put a name in the script, so he lives at this kind of. If you know anything about Phoenix area, we have an area called the Superstition Mountains, and it's kind of like known as a supernatural haunted area, but there's also little towns along the river, and so I kind of envisioned this lake being like along that river, but it's not there's some really popular touristy towns, and then there's some really small ones that for some reason no one cares about. I would say this is one of those, and so he's there's a little bit of tourism though, and he comes across a pile of some clothes on the beach, and a pair of shoes. I don't want to infringe on British Knights, so I called them Spanish Caballeros, because that is literally the Mexican version of British Knights. Spanish Caballeros. And he comes across those. Yeah, show this. I freaking love this page.
Oh, did it go away?
Here's him starting to tell his story. And you recall on the first page, he tosses his cigarette butt off the out into the air. He doesn't realize what he's doing. It lands in. He just totally hole-in-ones it in a recycling bin. Now Fresco's been moving my lettering. See how it's like way above the box? It does that sometimes. I don't know why it does that, but
weird.
Anyway.
Oh, hold up. Before we continue, I hate to leave, but I gotta get a nice sketch. Stat, I'm glad you're here, buddy. It's good to see you. And we got Leandro chilling.
Hey, what's up?
Gator Roy.
You stop that. He is the manliest, straightest man you will ever meet. Look at him.
Oh yeah.
It's a raw.
He's manly.
Raw hetero sex appeal right there.
By the way, that smoke effect. That's just the graphite brush.
Oh, cool.
I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. Looks nice and thick.
Turned out
your secrets.
Yeah.
Never tell your secrets.
Oh no, it's not. It's not a graphite brush. It's
he hand drew that else with the pencil tool. It's MS Paint.
I like this picture right here.
Oh, so zoom in on that. Zoom in. Are you able to zoom in?
Yeah.
Okay, zoom in real far. The flip flops I added later. Those are his angel boot shoes. The gator tooth necklace is the breastplate. The sunglasses are the helmet, and then you see the little tucked into his belt with the
Butterfly knife.
butterfly knife. That is the angel sword. Don't zoom in too far, you'll see how crappy the art is. But yeah,
That's
it's
great.
That's amazing. What's the
yeah,
beer can?
it's good. That's just beer.
Yeah.
I freaking love Gator Roy, man. I love Gator Roy so much.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You've got his voice down, I think, already.
Gator
Gator
Roy.
Roy. All right, so head back to page 2.
All right. Which one is that?
Fire page.
Fire page. This?
Okay, so we have him as he jumps off. He's materializing his Gator jet ski, which is
It's like
probably
90s upright Gator jet ski.
it's the best thing I've ever drawn. I want one. I want to own one so bad.
Yeah, look at that.
It's so cool. It's just cool.
I could totally see a toy of that where the little handle lifts up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that pose, I'm not good at poses, but that pose with him pointing, it just flowed out of me in one take. It's like, man, this is
sticking his butt in the air to ride it.
Stick his butt in the air, man.
I bet that did flow right out of you.
I was born to draw Gator Roy. That also him jumping off. That was one take.
His long, luxurious mane of mullet hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
beautiful.
great.
It's good stuff. It's good
The
stuff.
sexiest character we've ever made.
The Gator Roy. So anyway, so he tosses the butt, doesn't realize it, and go down to the bottom so we can see the dialogue. He's kind of like, yeah, I'm the savior of Serena Lago. That was near on 40 years ago, and I've been putting out fires ever since. As he's flying away from
the
fire. Not brilliant, but it was just a fun Gator Roy moment. Does Jenny know Forrest? Oh no, it's a Forrest Gump joke.
Jenny. It's Jenny.
Little booty.
This guy's got a little Forrest in him. He's
way too much Gator Roy booty in this comic. I'll tell you what. Anyway, so he happens upon angel armor, but it's in the shape of clothes.
And is this that?
Yeah, this is, by the way, the worst page I've ever drawn. The shoes are good.
The first skinny dip with a beautiful mamacita.
Everything is just so boring on this page. It's just him walking sideways and then looking.
Look, I know he was supposed to trip, but I like Mark's thought of like he gets down like really close to look at it.
Yeah,
like, I almost think you should redo it of him like laying there like so he could be up close to the sneakers.
Yeah, I could do that. By the way, do you guys like the effect on the lettering boxes or in balloons, or is it just too much?
No, it's cool.
I think it's fine.
Hang with it. I like it.
Hang with it.
I gave the shoes that they kind of triggered a glow, like it's like an alarm system, maybe like when he tripped over it, and so he calls them. He's like, "What in the Bruce Leroy sneakers?" If you ever watched The Last Dragon, it's got the glow. I freaking love drawing shoes now, man. It was awful when I started, but I'm really enjoying drawing shoes. I like doing the laces. There's like
I hate drawing shoes.
There's a piece to drawing the laces, man. There's just like I enjoy it. Yeah. So then this is kind of a shot from underwater. It's not obviously, and there's by the way, that's Triclops there down there on the bottom right. Some poor kid lost his Triclops in the lake.
That gives me the feels.
Yeah.
It gives me the feels, buddy.
So while he's happening upon this angel clothes, which he doesn't know are angel clothes, the angel is underwater being subdued by now, by the way, we need to talk about this panel.
Oh gosh.
He's being taken hostage by Serena, the mermaid.
I like
the catfish mermaid. My wife says this is too close to pornography. She said the scales look like
they just look like nipples rather than scales.
It just looks like a bunch of little nipples. So I need to do something else there. Those are scales.
Yeah.
Just make them
a bad
bigger.
coloring job, but
more
bigger?
scales.
Okay.
Make the
more scales.
No,
lots more scales.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little Mermaid like. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I still love the idea that he's more Gator Roy's more turned on by her true form than her Siren porn. I just thought of him just being all about this monster catfish thing.
So he doesn't know this is going on, but he'll end up flipping around the butterfly knife, and it's going to fly out into the water, and it's going to hit Serena on the head. She's going to let the angel go, and kind of as a reward for saving him, I think. I don't know if we settled on this. He let the angel kind of lets him keep his armor.
No,
No.
I thought.
But let's talk about that.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I don't mean to just blur out no, because you guys can supersede me. I thought the idea was he just took the stuff was just laying on the beach, and he took it and thinks that the angel's crazy and just wants to take his clothes, and because he kind of claimed them.
Right. I'm okay with that, but help me reconcile. So he in the ash can, it's going to flash forward. Once it tells that story, it's going to flash forward to modern day, and Serena's kind of back, and she's doing her thing again, and he has to really truly defeat her this time. How would he know the story? I get maybe he just kind of comes around to believe in the angel eventually, give his armor back. He's like, nope, I'm keeping it. I don't know.
I mean, I maybe there's a way that she is revealed to him at some point, but I kind of, and I don't know, maybe you guys discussed this more and I just missed it. I remember the story being more that he found those clothes on the beach, took them. Somehow I thought he just was aware of what was going on under there and saved them wearing those clothes, not really knowing how to really use the powers. And then the angel keeps trying to tell him that that's his stuff. I'll have enough of this. He left. Cal, are you gone?
He's gone.
He's just gone.
Gone, man.
I guess he doesn't like what I thought it was.
I think it's funny.
Anyway, the idea being it was he took them. He's kind of just like finders keepers and thinks that this angel is trying to take them. He's saying, "Hang on, Cal's back here."
I think it can be an unwritten law, sort of like an angelic law that if you give up your armor, to a mortal, it belongs to the mortal. You can't get it back. Almost like the mortal taints it.
I missed everything Mark said. He went robot on me.
I'll recap what I said. So what I recall the story being was that this angel's having this battle with this fish down there. Gator Roy stumbles upon the clothes on the beach, puts them on, doesn't quite understand the full power of what he's put on, sees what's happening in the water and saves this angel, and doesn't believe the angel when he says that's my stuff. Like he's just he's taking this approach of like finders keepers,
right?
But lets the angel just kind of hang out with him anyway because he's just kind of a dummy. So that was how I remembered this going down. If there were different interpretations of this later that I just didn't pay attention to, that's fine.
I think that could work if he like kind of eventually comes around to believe in the angel story about Serena, and but again doesn't give his armor back. And I like Mutt's idea that maybe that's just kind of a law for angels. I think if you let it go, it's gone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Serena,
I like that he just wouldn't give it back to the angel. Like he just refuses because he likes it. He's
Serena looks for angelic, right? Like she's trying to destroy angels, right?
Well, she's trying to reproduce, and humans don't really do the trick. But you know how fish reproduce, right? Like they don't copulate. They're just the mom lays eggs, and then the dad fish comes along and just spermifies the eggs. But the angel doesn't necessarily know that, so he's like, so anyway, but so here's kind of like the hook of the ash can is that when he's finishing telling his story about Serena, we see her her tail disappearing into a cave like an underwater cave. But at the end of the ash can, when he finally defeats her, she's actually dead. But you see like all the eggs with like little mermaid forms kind of inside them, and so this will actually move. Like if we actually get to do more Gator Roy, it'll become like a Lovecraftian thing. Like
of course it will.
That's Cal's favorite word.
What do you call it? The Innsmouth. There's the Innsmouth look where the people kind of worship the fish god. So that's what we kind of have. We'll have like people that are part fish coming out, and it'll be cool. But anyway,
Well, like what I'm saying is that he can save the angel, which the angel then becomes like just a normal guy, which would be funny, right?
Yeah.
So the angel who is an eternal being then just becomes this normal guy who's got to walk the earth and deal with problems and pay bills and stuff.
Right.
But then Gator Roy becomes angelic from the power of the armor.
Right.
And so she's going to want Gator Roy, right? Because he sort of stops.
Oh, yeah.
He stops the process by saving the angel, but then now he becomes the new target of Cyrena. But
So are the eggs going to be his?
yeah,
the
because
babies?
he's so because he's
They're
so
little
twisted.
Fish mulleted things.
Yeah, he's so weird and messed up.
I love that she doesn't even. I still say she doesn't even use the siren powers on him. He just into her. I'm sorry.
He doesn't have to do anything.
He's into this weird catfish lady. Just is the most amusing thing. To
I
me.
think that's funny, but I don't know if it makes sense. Like no one would want to touch that.
Gator Roy's a freak. It's Gator Roy.
He's like, it's all right with me.
All right, so jump to the last page I have, and because I just want to
Is it this one?
get your this is him telling the story of how Serena becomes the mermaid. Is that picture too, like, I don't know, is it too risque?
No, it's not.
Which
we
one?
just looked at fish nipples. I think we can handle
Okay, good.
engine cleavage.
So there's kind of like a subtle joke in this little story here where he's saying that he's got the hots. So I'll just paraphrase what Roy's saying. She's got the hots for some Indian brave guy that she doesn't think she can land, and so this catfish, if we move down a little, the catfish says he can help her get this man if she will agree to. This is a real story, by the way. If she'll agree to become part fish every full moon and kind of swim around with the catfish. And so she agrees, and the catfish is trying to trick her because he hopes she'll. And if she's seen by a human while she's in fish form, then she has to stay that way. Okay, you can move to the bottom now. And so the kind of like subtle joke is that the big fat Indian is the one that she wanted. It wasn't the buff guy. But he catches her. This is kind of something I added to the story. In the real story, he just kind of sees her. But in my story, he's fishing and he catches her. I think it's funny. And so that's why she has remained a mermaid, but she really wanted to have kids, and so that's kind of why she's trying to get Angel's DNA to help her babies become real fish babies.
This is my favorite drawing you've ever done right here.
I need to draw a bra or something on her, but there's no nipples, so it's okay.
I'm more interested in the Indian underwear, the brown underwear. Like I think from concept to finalize, this should be what the final is.
Oh yeah.
The Indians just kind of hang out in Indian undies. This guy right here.
Yeah. And he's the only one wearing shoes. He's got undies and a boots and moccasin boots.
It's like a stripper.
That's why she's into him, is his fashion style.
Yeah. Well, he's confident, that's for sure.
He is very confident.
Yeah.
This page was a delight to draw, by the way. It was
it's a delight to look at.
I love the fish looking up at her.
Look at that
creepy fish poking his head out of the water.
Catfish in general are really interesting because they're so adaptable. So it's a perfect combination of weird demon creature, and animal, because I don't know that it's ever been done before. I've never seen anything like it.
The whole Drifters team, man, it's all unique stuff.
It is.
Absolutely.
I think we got something good here.
For sure.
All right, so that's pretty
Gator Roy.
much that's Gator Roy. So then the question is, how does Gator Roy connect with the Drifters team? And I'll just tell you what I think I know.
Yeah,
is that he's not necessarily going to be a team member because his opinion of himself is too high. Like he sees sort of the Drifters team as people that are beneath him. He feels like he's sort of a Superman level character where his opinion, he's so confident about his opinion,
Right.
that he just like every great redneck philosopher, he is high on his own fumes, and so he loves to say things and spout things off that make perfect sense to him and in his opinion, but does not allow him to be a good teammate. So he's going to interact with them, but they're not going to get along. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
My thinking was he probably is the reason Jenny gets messed up in whatever her last battle with the beak is.
Ooh.
He's part of that team of angelic warriors and screws it up.
Okay.
And gets her hurt. That was what I was guessing. But I
The
guess
angel guy?
That's interesting.
No, Gator Roy, because he takes place before the Drifters, right?
Oh yeah, he does take place in it's in the 80s. I don't know when her team if she could be aging fast and her team was in the 80s, that would be cool with me.
Well, I don't know what you were thinking initially. That was my guess, is that he was probably part of this angelic group of guardians or whatever, and he's probably the reason they screwed up.
That's actually a really good idea. I would say maybe the 90s, maybe like early 90s is when her team happened. I think that'd be a good time to set that, because we actually get to do that story too. Yeah, maybe, if we ever do this book, but I think that'd be a fun time to set that story and have that be. So that would be Gator Roy's kind of, obviously his like the boys kind of phase where he's just not a good hero. He's not even an anti-hero. He's just totally prideful.
Yeah.
I see the ash can as him. So here's my outline, kind of just off the top of my head, trying to remember what I wrote in the outline. The angel comes to him and is like, "Hey, Serena's kind of resurfaced. Like men have started to disappear, and Serena's trying to make babies again, right? And so actually, we need to probably flesh that out, because I don't know why she'd be taking humans if she knows she needs an angel. Maybe she doesn't know she needs an angel.
Humans make the eggs, but the angels make them better.
Yeah. Maybe she decided she wants super babies. But in any case, whatever we land on, the angel tells him the Serena is back in action. He's got to defeat her for reals this time, and he's like, "I did defeat her for reals." But then he kind of he realizes, well, there's no one. I'm the savior of Serena Lago, so I've got to be the one to defeat her. I really like what you guys are talking about tonight with it wasn't just tonight. I think it's been in the Discord too, but him actually kind of being into her. But tonight you guys came up with the him actually like falling for her. I think that's a great wrinkle in that he goes to defeat her and he ends up like, let's get it on.
Yeah.
Put on some Barry White, chart, whatever. And then
he's been living under the water with her for the last like 20 years. That's this is where he's.
Well, no, I would say it's more recent. Like he's kind of telling the story. But the Drifters, I don't know who, like if it's a whole team or one or two of the members, show up in town. Like Jenny sends them to help him because she knows that he can't. She doesn't have faith that he can actually defeat Serena himself. So I would say that probably they try and give him some good advice or something. He tells him take off. Serena Lago's his town, and they do. But when he actually does have
to get your hands off my pretty girl.
Yeah. But I would say he does finally take their advice and kind of has a little bit of an upward character arc where he doesn't lose his pride or anything, but he kind of maybe redeems himself just a little bit. That guy.
He takes her out. They have it's like that X3 scene when Wolverine stabs Jean Grey. It's like him and her. I love you. You beautiful woman.
Notice I didn't draw his right hand yet. I'm gonna have like a pinky up, like Nacho Libre on his little You guys
Yeah.
ever watch Nacho Libre and he like
Yeah.
"Woo, woo," and he's got his pinky up?
I love the Gator mobile forming underneath him.
Yeah.
That thing's I love that.
I'll
It's a
draw
fun
that
little-
better eventually.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
it needs to be. I love it. It captures the motion pretty well.
I probably need to make his flip flops green though, right? Instead of orange.
He doesn't have to match. He's
Gator Roy.
Well, they're creating his flip flops are creating the thing. Like, I guess it doesn't really matter, huh?
Yeah. Does he need a bandana around his forehead?
Look, I will say take whatever advice you can get from a true Tennessee hillbilly down there. He thinks the guy needs a bandana to be true hillbilly. Then,
in the future, maybe I don't want to have to redraw all this, so
Yeah,
I would
that's
say
fine.
for now,
That's
like
fine.
either sunglasses or a bandana, maybe. Like
when
maybe
we do
You're trying to do
Roy-
one item per angelic item. Is
when
that
we do
right?
Or not. You can do whatever.
Gator Roy 2099, he'll have a bandana.
Oh my god.
That's
Oh
the
my
only difference is he's got a
He just has a bandana.
I think it'd be cool if he's wearing a bandana and he goes out into the sun and he goes like this and pulls it down and it's sunglasses. He goes shh, and instead of being a bandana, now it's sunglasses. Like that'd be a cool thing to draw.
Yeah.
Actually, it'd be cooler to see in like a movie, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The Gator mobile is fantastic, and I love the eye of the Gator and the teeth and
think-
Thank you.
flat
I
head
think
of it.
whenever he like gets to a place like he gets to the Drifters HQ, if he's involved in that, if he gets to like he's gonna go up against a foe, doesn't matter. He always like whenever he gets off, he just looks down and there's like an igloo cooler and he opens it up, like pulls out a beer and opens it. It doesn't matter where he is. It's just always an igloo cooler there.
Yes.
Well done. Yes, I think that's a great idea. A tall boy. There's always a tall boy
There's
in there.
always a
Always.
tall boy, or like he'll get like he's fighting some monster or something, and he gets batted down and hits the ground, and he raises his head up and he like picks up he picks up his tall boy and like opens it and takes a sip,
He just reaches off panel and comes back with him.
and he always has one.
Love it.
Yeah,
great,
the fun thing about this character is that you can come up with all kinds of interesting ways for him to actually for him to win. Like he's just a born winner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's not that intelligent, but things just tend to work out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's nigh on invulnerable.
Right.
With his
It's like the
with his
tick.
angel armor.
Yeah, with his angel armor. I would like to see him in pure angelic form, like because he would have.
He has one moment of true heroism. Before
Yeah,
he
like-
kills,
like, yeah,
what's her
he
face,
should-
and he's full
Yeah.
angelic.
Yeah, that's like what I'm saying.
He should always threaten to like you wouldn't want to see me when I'm really mad. Kind of like the Hulk. But
Yeah.
then one time he gets really mad and he like comes out as like, he's full like
Yeah,
plate armor, like
he
ready
should-
to just like do damage.
He should say, "Don't make me go full Gator."
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great. Does he make his angel armor take like a gatorish form, like it's
Yeah, it's
big and
scales,
bulky and
scalish to it.
scaly?
yeah.
Gator
Man,
eyes,
that-
like Craven the Hunter, only an alligator.
Yeah, that's cool. We're gonna have someone else draw that, but
That's awesome.
Sounds awesome.
So we should all the art should be all the same except for the scene where he takes on the gator and then make it like have like Adam Miller or somebody do it like just wicked like
Mega.
like
That's a
ultra
Ren and Stimpy
realistic.
moment.
Adam
Like,
Miller goes,
yeah,
yeah, the
exactly.
Marvel masterpieces on it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking. A Marvel masterpiece version.
All right. Well, look, we might as well say too, like we're actively seeking the artist. We want to employ an artist. We've got lots of money to give to someone.
So
Big
much
money.
money.
What? Mutt's been holding out on us.
Don't
no,
make
we-
me go
full gator.
Don't
We
make
don't-
the phone go get her.
we don't have a lot of money to give, but at the same time, we are paying. This would be a paid gig, so like we can negotiate with someone who's interested in these characters.
You stop that, Leandro.
And wants to see this thing come to life with us. We're going to do a campaign, but we just need to get some artwork going for it. Where we can. This is the ash can art that we're showing here.
Mhm.
We're each going to do an ash can, which I'm really excited about. I think me and Macho especially are going to enjoy doing Finbar and Bindlestaff. That's going to be fun.
Well, you
Man, I
guys
can't
basically
wait to
are
see
Finbar and Bindlestaff.
One of you is named Mutt, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm Finbar, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but you're
funny
kind of,
because he looks like Bindlestaff.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get together on that and come up with something for the ash can. But we're going to do probably 3 or 4 ash cans, and we're going to have a full-on comic about this team. And we've got the script. The Cal's done a fantastic job putting the script together. I think it's up to 25 pages worth now. And some of the input that we're doing tonight.
Bindlestaff.
Look at that! Look at them little legs of mine. How did you do that?
That's just the picture you put up. I didn't do anything to it.
How did you do
Oh
that?
gosh.
I've
Anyway,
met you in
keep
person
going,
now. I know
keep
exactly what your legs look like. It's
My legs do
weird
not
how
look
much you
like
look like that character.
My legs
It's
do not.
disturbing. It's so disturbing.
Anyhow.
Bindlemut.
So yeah, so if you know someone who would be interested, if you know an artist who's looking for a gig that would have a good sort of like humorous style, yet action, sort of like think about like Bad Boys or Rush Hour,
Yeah.
But
in
a
art
comedy form?
style. If you
In
can
art style.
pull that
Michael
off,
Bay in art style. That's
Ugh. Michael Bay
you
sucks.
shut your filthy mouth.
come on over to our house. Talk to us a little bit. Let us know what your rate would be. We'd love to talk to you.
We're very cheap.
There's lots of ways you can help people out if they're willing to help you out up front. You know what I'm saying?
You can pay Mutt in menthol cigarettes.
Mutt can pay in menthol cigarettes.
I'm not in prison. That's not what I don't.
It's always prison.
Can I
rules
show
with
you
Mutt.
what I was doing? Can you see?
Hey, look at that.
Oh, sweet
Wow.
Moses. Yes.
I did a little bit of just a little shading on it, but
Every time I redesign a character, Cal thinks I'm going top that. And
Yeah, exactly.
No, dude, I like yours more than mine. I'm inspired. I see your
He gets
stuff. I'm like,
turned
man, I
on
want to
by
draw
it.
that. I do. It turns me all the way on.
He gets full Gator.
That switch is just right up.
He's like,
Gator
call
Roy.
me Gator Roy.
Oh,
I'm gonna draw that mask tonight. That Oni mask.
Yeah, I'm with you. When I see
did
that stuff, I get
don't know if
turned
you saw
on
him,
too.
I did a more asymmetrical version of it. Really,
Yeah, I
quick
wanna see
before went to
that.
bed. Did like a
Yeah.
not as symmetrical and clean as the other
I
one.
don't prefer that. I don't prefer that. To
Oh, you
the
don't?
other.
All right.
I
I
think
prefer
like
the
that
other one.
too. Yeah.
Oh.
Other
I
one
like
it
them
is.
both.
I'm fine with that. I like the other one too.
Yeah, I think the other one's perfect.
Well,
I want to see that. I want to see someone take it and do it in a more gritty. You know what I mean? Like take that same thing right there, but just make it like.
I think my art's mad gritty.
That's cool, but it's, I wouldn't describe it as gritty.
I'm gonna do it in MS Paint. Y'all are gonna be
Careful what you wish for, Mutt. You're gonna get
Help us, Lord.
true grit from Macho.
right.
True
Yeah.
Macho grit.
Well, I
I
think
can I can do it in the elephant style.
Yeah,
You should.
let's see that.
It's not as gritty as a David Murdoch, but halfway. Halfway there.
Murdoch.
He was hanging out with a Hotep tonight, so he couldn't be here.
Oh, is that where he is tonight?
Well, he said Hotep his game is finally completely done, and I think Hotep was going to be streaming it, and so he was making himself available for that.
Yeah.
Of course.
Uncle Hotep, whatever. I don't understand that whole thing, but
He's just a
they're a
popular.
big deal.
He's
Big
just
deal.
a popular guy. I did actually attempt to draw Gator Roy once. Mine's not as good as Cal's though, but There was an attempt.
Oh, I love that, dude. I just stole your. I just keep stealing your
Dude.
design.
He looks so good.
That whole ash can is me drawing him based on this design. He even has the
Look at the
can
tan
of
line.
beer.
Tan
I just
line.
did
I didn't do
Sorta's
the pocket
back. I
knife
put
though.
the.
I just did a.
I like that his arm. He has a T-shirt tan,
Oh yeah,
and you can see like
I'm glad you noticed that. I was
Oh,
glad
that's-
you noticed the.
I gotta
the
add
farmer's
that.
stand.
tan on his belly.
That's really good.
too, because he wears a short shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's great.
Yeah.
I missed
Thank you,
that.
Much.
I'll
I
add
was
that.
wondering if anyone noticed the
No.
farmer's stand that didn't quite
Oh,
cover
I
the
can
belly.
see the farmer stand.
Yeah.
I'll add that. He has
Amazing.
gloves on too. I didn't realize that. He has like fingerless gloves.
Yeah, I was just going as trashy as I could with him.
He'll add
Yeah.
some fingerless gloves and a t-shirt tan.
That's the guy you see at the pool at one of the places in Gatlinburg.
Oh
That's Derry, New Hampshire's finest right there. That's
Yeah. Yeah, they come
They
down
may be
from
called. They may be called different things, different places, but they're all the same type of people.
we all
Yeah.
have our version of
Of Gator Roy.
yeah. Yeah.
and my
Do we know why he has the name Gator Roy?
His name is Roy's
he was like
Rolls.
Royce Rolls or something like that, wasn't
Royce
it?
Yeah.
Rolls, yeah.
But why is it Gator?
Because he likes gators.
Gator Roy.
You're thinking too deep on Gator Roy.
Yep.
He's not
He
deep.
just likes gators.
He just thinks
He
gators
needs
are
a
cool.
signature
Leandro had a
man.
good idea. He needs a signature cruiser.
Koozie?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's a good idea. Thank you, Leandro. You finally said something we could use. We appreciate that.
He should like give his koozies out to like kids and stuff, and they'll
Oh
be
my
like,
god, he markets himself.
yeah,
He uses his
That's
angel
great.
powers to like make products.
yeah. Well, he's like maybe he's sponsored by. Well, yeah, I like the idea that he just like conjures beer and then he just drinks it. Like I wonder if it's even real, like real beer. He just conjures it and like that's his thing.
Yeah, his Gatormobile is actually has like sponsors. on
Yeah.
it. Like
Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny.
He's got
just the angel gets so ticked off that he's like
It looks like it should look like a NASCAR with all the
yeah,
sponsors.
his
100%.
breastplate of righteousess is covered in like
It's
whatever the
got like
sponsor of the week is.
Texaco,
Sponsored by
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts,
Got
Yeah,
like 7-Eleven on there. Yeah.
McDonald's.
McDonald's. He's definitely got a boys feel, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He's like the boys, like he's a superhero in the real world kind of thing. But I love that he's a complete and utter redneck disaster.
Yeah,
All the characters are a good kind. It's like he's like not quite homeless enough to be a drifter because he's actually done quite well for himself.
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
He's a lake boy, right? Like that's he
Yeah,
hangs
yeah,
around
yeah.
the lake.
Hey,
Man, this guy's so good. This guy's a real person in my mind.
Yeah.
I love Gator Roy.
It's Gator Roy.
Gator
Like
Roy.
Gator.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, I guess that's a good place for us to end the stream for the evening, unless you guys had anything else you wanted to discuss. Did we go over all the points we need to go over, Cal? Did we?
I think we did. Even if we didn't, we did. There's a great stream. I'm happy.
My man.
All right.
We didn't. Do we settle on anything?
Thank you,
though?
Leandro.
We
Yeah.
decided that